Resta solo Tevez al limite dell'area, fa fuori tutti Tevez, si apre la porta Tevez, gol, da dietro, Pirlo dentro,
Hey Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve Cast channel where of course it's all Juve all the time, and man, never a dull moment around here, eh Ant?
No sir.
Yeah, we got a lot to dissect after what was the 2-1 defeat to Benfica in the second Champions League group stage game. All waiting in the aftermath to see what would go down, what was going to happen. Well, the news today is just a lot of rumors. Tensions are high, as they should be at a club like Juventus, based on getting 2 wins out of 8 matches, 12 dating back to last season. Simply unacceptable. Fans are at beyond a boiling point. Fans were at a boiling point going into Benfica. Now it is almost full-on chaos. The stadium, we saw what happened at the stadium post-match and everything. We're going to get into absolutely everything, okay? We're going to break it all down real quick. I want to start off just getting the housekeeping out of the way. Everybody that's tuning in here on your audio outlets for this podcast, get over to YouTube. That's where all your daily update videos are, our match day lives, and all the good stuff, okay? All the extras. So make sure you get over and subscribe to the channel. For anybody looking to support, just let it out of the way right out of the gate here. We have Super Chat enabled where we accept donations. Thank you very much to all those who have sent in donations. If you're looking to get yourself some cool gear, Striped Arts Apparel, our merch shop, is open and tied to YouTube. We have new designs, and it's free shipping currently on all items. So check it out, and if you choose to support that way, get yourself some cool gear at the same time. Now, without further ado, the news today, again, not what I expected, to be honest, because I thought there was going to be a shakeup. Ant, did you think there was going to be a shakeup this morning?
Absolutely not.
No.
There was no chance.
No chance.
It was something that everyone was asking for. And I know we'll get to it bit by bit, but long story short, that's not how this management operates, and I'm not surprised that's still, status quo for today.
Yeah, and the live, again, as it's become the norm here, firing things up well before we come into this here. And Jeremiah, guys, this thing with Max has become way too toxic, more toxic than Sarri. Once you lose the players, you are done. In all my years being a Juve fan, I've never seen a darker disunited period.
Disunited.
Ununited?
Regardless,
I get what you're saying, Jeremiah.
Messed up.
Pretty bleak right now. It's a pretty rough patch. And we're gonna tackle everything and see what we're going with. Dan Barilla saying the board has no balls. If they were serious, Allegri would have been gone by now. Since he has a big contract, he's still the coach. Very disappointing, to say the least.
I'll get to that.
Okay. All right. And then Bobby Yogasel. Ciao, Juventini. Ready? Hola. Together we rant. Together we rant, brother. Together we rant.
Bobby is one of our pillars.
Yes. Here's one right off the gate. Grazie, Martin. Very much appreciated. Good morning. How's everyone's day? After the small talk is out of the way, I'd like to hear from Ant first to see where he stands. I'm very curious. So, Ant taking he was showing reasons why keeping Allegri around would be here. Now I would have to say it's gonna be a little tougher, but we're gonna get into it all, Martin. And again, much appreciated for the donation. All right, now let's get to it. We're gonna blast through the game because
we lost.
I watched it twice and I shouldn't have. That's probably why I'm a little under the weather. Make yourself sick watching this team sometimes, okay? So let's get into this. The lineup was straightforward as projected. Perin, Cuadrado, Bremer, Bonucci, Danilo, Kostic, with McKennie, Paredes, Moretti out of the midfield, Milik, and Vlahovic up top. I had absolutely no issues with the lineup. I thought it was a good game plan against Benfica, who usually plays in a 4-2-3-1. You could shut down their wings, slow down their flank play, and 3 center backs. Probably better than going with a 2 center back system when they're rather tricky players up at the top there. So I had no problems with it. honestly, we start this thing off in the best possible way. Quadrado drawing the foul way out on the sideline. Paredes with a nice in ball. Milik doing absolutely fantastic to head that one to the back corner. Fantastic goal. 4 minutes in. 9 minutes in, pressure from Juve. Kostic almost directs across from Quadrado into the back post, but it deflects and goes wide. We're all over them. Playing unreal at the start. And it shifts. Again, like usual, we go into a bit of a management mode because we know it's unable to keep that intensity and that level up for that long. 38th minute, Benfica hits the post finally after starting to shift the control of possession and whatnot. 41st minute, foul on Moretti in the area. Right call. It's a foul. Unfortunate for us. Thought João Mario might have stopped on his run-up and had to retake, but regardless, he buries.
They don't call that. He did stop, and I'm not gonna, cry over spilt milk. But that a lot of players do that, and they never call it because referees just say he didn't stop his momentum. Like he stopped, but he's still sort of moving. So I don't know. They never call that. They never call it against the shooter. But
yeah,
And I saw people questioning the yellow card on Moretti because the player was moving away from the net. They always give, that's basically the standard now. It's a yellow card, you foul in the box. So, unfortunately. Moretti almost had a second right at the end of the half where he stopped an attacking player right in front of the referee.
Yeah, he got away with one.
With the two hands.
I thought he was going to see the second yellow, so he was pretty fortunate there. And that is a big reason why he got subbed off. So
he did get start subbed the half,
off, 53rd maybe. It was somewhere around there, I believe. I could be wrong on that. He did get subbed off, though. In the 55th minute, Benfica finds a second. And this was awful defending. Bonucci was all out of sorts on this play, has to be said. You just need to contain in that spot. He drives himself. He gives him the inside. For God's sakes, Bonucci. Better on that one. Now, Bonucci had moments in and out with this game. Okay, so he had really good interventions and really good plays shutting Benfica down, and he had some absolutely woeful plays. And this one was absolutely awful. Awful from Bonucci, all over the place on that goal. Anyways, again, what we deserved based on Benfica and how they were playing and taking over at that point. Ant, anything to add there?
Milik and Paredes got spun by one player right near the half line. That sort of started that play. And then six players in white shirts just froze, except Bremer, so 5. And Bonucci was with a kind of a weak tackle, like a leg sweep, something you see out of a Street Fighter 2. And then he tried to do it again, ball in the back of net. But he did have 2 big blocks, if it's any saving grace. He had 2 big blocks in the second half. But then again, Perrin had 4 huge saves. So that game could have easily been 6-1.
Any way you slice it, as we get later on into here, 71st minute, a post from Keane, which was honestly pretty fortunate because it was a weak attempt. I don't know if he's trying to cross that like as a through ball, whatever. It was a weak attempt. It got deflected off the post. I would have taken it at that point because of how we were playing. 86th minute, Bremer, of all people, gets an unbelievable opportunity, and you can't even fault the guy because it's like your center back gets all in, all alone. He goes for all out power, misses the goal. Like, I get it. At this level, you've got to do way better, but it's a center back free and clear like that. I'm surprised he was able to settle it enough to get the opportunity off. But
the keeper did well. He was like, it was probably like looking at Batman with his cape open. Like the keeper was right there in his face. And you, as a center back, like you said, you're not a striker. You're going to kind of panic. And he just tried to chip it over him. But when you're on the 6-yard line, it's not going to work out well. A striker probably would have slotted that underneath the goalie, like just tapped it underneath. But again,
Yeah.
If it was anybody else in that position, anybody. But yeah, he had a great.
Yeah,
Bremer had a great
unfortunately,
game yesterday.
no. The only sub out of all the substitutes Max made, I think you could question why Milik was one that came off.
And that happened, yep.
That
At the end
guy
of the
is
game.
our guy right now. He's our guy right now, and I didn't like him coming off when you need goals. Yeah, it's a frustrating one, but honestly, the other subs, they all made sense and they were all fine, and the guys were gassed. And again, we got gassed pretty early, and that's a major, major concern, which we're going to get into.
Mm-hmm.
This match overview, before we get into now all the stuff I'm sure you and Tini are waiting for, okay, which is the aftermath. But before, like for me, asked to overview this game, same shit, different day, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Same shit, different day. Team puts in an incomplete performance, playing probably good football for 20, 25 minutes. And then when they continue to get into management mode, they are unable to crank it back up. They can't crank it back up. They can't go through the gears. It's why when everybody was telling me that we are close to PSG, look, it was 2-1. Look at that second half. We're not close. We're miles away, everybody. I kept saying that we are miles away. We are unable to manage minutes. You can't play the way we did in the opening of that game for a match through its entirety, okay? But what you need to be able to do is recoup a bit, slow things down without falling flat on your face. When we try to get into this manage minutes mode, the legs shut down completely, okay? To where just holding possession becomes a struggle because everybody stops moving. They start ball watching. We can't play in managing mode, and you have to be able to manage some minutes out of games. And when it comes time to start cranking it up again, like PSG did to us when they wanted to at will, they went into management mode. Difference is they can maintain possession and their players still move. And then when they want to, they crank it back up. Juve can never get out of that lull. Once they get into management mode, they are sleeping. And for me, that comes down to conditioning. Because again, at the start of this game, you didn't have Di Maria out there. You don't have Chiesa. You don't have Paul Pogba. But we played some pretty damn good football, didn't we? Because the legs were there and the fight was there. The work ethic was there. The effort, all that was there. That's half the battle with this team. The problem is, I believe we're not physically fit to the conditioning we need to be. And whether that's on overtraining, poor recovery, whatever it is, it needs to be stepped up because every single team we've faced looks in better shape than us at this point.
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts. And your overview on this game.
Yeah, we look. I said it in the green room before the show. That was probably the worst. And I'm a little bit older than everybody else. That's probably the worst Juventus game I've ever seen that I can recall watching. Like it was almost laughable. Like I was running the main yesterday during the game, and at the end of the game, the only thing I could do was just type in how many minutes were left in the game. That was 8 minutes, 7 minutes, and then we got that offside goal. You know, that ball has to be passed quicker. And going back to your point about the conditioning, when you tired legs always means the passing and the crispness of the passes are going to fall off. And you saw that the turnovers were just unrelenting. Anytime we had some sort of momentum going forward, even like a counterattack, because Benfica was susceptible to that counterattack yesterday. It just died flat with that last pass, just couldn't find its mark. It was too slow. It was off. You've seen a lot of players running in one direction, expecting the ball to meet them there, and it's behind them. It's not, you want to put that to conditioning, that's fine. You want to put that to players not familiar with each other. That excuse is starting to wane a little bit because these guys have enough under their belts. What do we have? 7 match days in Serie A done, 6 or 7, and 2 Champions League games. That's turned into an excuse. So overall, I have nothing to say. It was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen of any game. And that includes MLS.
Yeah. And then on top of the performance, not getting the victory, and
MLS
we
is bad,
know,
but...
you know, I was very, very vocal about it on the Match Day Live. Max, you said this was the important one. This was the crucial one. Okay?
Yes, he did.
He said it.
No.
He said it's
Yes,
not
he did.
PSG. It's at home to Benfica. Well, here we are, Max. Here we are. And the thing is, after the presser, I got on him in the Match Day Live yesterday. I said, in his press conference, he sat right next to Danilo. And Danilo says, we have to win tomorrow. It's as simple as that. It's a must-win game. And in comes Allegri with his little, well, it's important, but it's not crucial. You just said it was fucking crucial last week. Stay in your lane. Pick a goddamn lane, Max. And so this team doesn't need deflection anymore. They don't need that anymore. It's over. That's over, Max. It's time to rally the troops and get these guys fired up and playing. But beyond that, I truly feel we're not at the physical capacity we should be to really play the way we need to get success. That's my personal belief.
It starts there with the conditioning, obviously. And if you watch the post-match presser with Allegri, who's very difficult to understand, I know Italian, but his Italian is a different level. He just, he was asked direct questions about the game, and he just, I'm paraphrasing here, but he was like, game's over. We lost that one. We're already moving on to Monza. It's like, well, no, like that was not good. That needs to be addressed. I understand. And you and I, again, I hate to keep going back to the NFL, but that's the same thing. Sunday is a game. Monday, Tuesday, you start preparing for the next week. But that post-match presser, you can't just blow it off to say, yeah, it wasn't good today. We're moving on to Monza. It needs to be addressed. I think there was a lot of that going on, possibly in the change room afterwards. There was some reports that there was some arguments.
Let's get into this. This part was heartbreaking for me. Mm-hmm. Number one, it's heartbreaking just watching the stadium in general. Okay? I'm going to get to that later. Fans booing the players, jeering them in the curva as they approach them, and the players standing there and taking it. Two sides. The one side are the tifosi and the Juventini who say, I don't care much for that show. I need to see it on the pitch. Flip side, how come Di Maria and Paredes walked away from that and didn't? There's no unity there. You have two sides here. I personally thought Max should have been out there with them, and I actually appreciate the gesture. I got into this yesterday, okay? For me, if the amount of money it takes for me to go over to watch Juventus play right now, I wouldn't even consider it. I would honestly not even consider it. And that's a shame. That's a goddamn shame, because when I did go, it was unbelievable. And the atmosphere was amazing. And it was surreal. I got emotional being there, for God's sakes. Now there's no soul. There's no soul attached with this team. You have Benfica fans in their sector with flares, banners, going nuts. We're a goddamn library with empty seats there. There are also the flip side to that story, those that say, well, the Ultras held the team for ransom and they got what they deserve. They should have been banned. Listen, it's 2022. You don't punish all for the mistakes of few, okay? And they were very much in tune with who was at the heart of that whole issue. It doesn't mean that you suck the life out of your entire stadium and what was a fortress. There's a lot going on. But in terms of facing the curva, I thought it was a good gesture, because we're at a point now. What are we going to do? Lose even more fans? Lose the last set of fans that are paying the money to go in there to watch this shit show?
It's a possibility.
They've got to get it right. For me, Agnelli needs to start by making things right with the most loyal of supporters, who are the curva, okay? Those ultras, not the bad apples, okay? Keep those guys out. You know damn well who they are. And if problems start to arise, you cut them. You cut them as it goes, right? But to be honest, those are the ones that support in the away games as well. And they're the ones traveling with the team and doing that through thick and thin, through these horror show matches. And we allow the visiting fans to do everything we've taken away from our own.
That's a weird one for me.
Agnelli,
that rule doesn't really make sense, but
the report came out, he was enraged by what's been taking place or whatever. Agnelli, start by cleaning up your shit at home and stop that thing from being a library. You want global marketing, all this, that's pathetic and embarrassing to put out there to the footballing world. Pathetic. And which side of the fence do you sit on with the fans facing the curva?
Okay. The issue of allowing the away fans to bring in flares and drums and banners and not allowing your own fans to do that is weird to me. I don't quite get how you let that happen. In terms of what Agnelli's trying to do with the fans, I understand it because you want to, if you're going to try and draw in more income, you're going to need, I'm trying to put this properly, but he's trying to draw a different type of fan who's going to buy tickets on a more regular basis. And that may be someone who's not quite tied to the ultra scene. You know what I mean? He's trying to draw in a different type of fan, like a family atmosphere to get more, my guess, this is my opinion, to get more consistent sales. It doesn't seem to be working. Like you look at the English stadiums, they don't have, for the most part, they don't have sections with banners or anything, right? Or drums or flares, but they're full. So I think he's trying to do that sort of situation. You have full stadiums, but it's organized. There's no sort of, bad element, but they've come a long way. The English stadiums have come a long way with cameras and ticketing, proper ticketing. I know Juventus does that as well, but that's the route he's trying to go. But
it's a bad decision.
And that's a fair opinion. And I'm just saying, but at what cost? I can see what he's trying to do and I understand it, but it's currently not working. It's not working in terms of bringing the atmosphere. It may bring in the revenue down the road, but it's just not working. It's not working.
This team plays every game on the road.
Essentially.
Aside from where they sleep, every single game has been away.
They more play every game at a neutral site. It's almost like a neutral site.
Oh, unreal. Unreal. Disgusting. Anyways, we'll get to this. The players facing the curva, mm-hmm. Some say it's just a show. I say I appreciate it, to be honest, and they should be doing that. Do you agree with me, Anth?
I do, yep.
Face the music, man, because they got it. That's one small way of letting people know it's unacceptable what they saw. If they were to walk away, that's the easy route out, and I don't like that. Go ahead, Anth. Elaborate.
I didn't have an issue with Di Maria and Paredes. They were at center field talking with other players when the main team went. Maybe they didn't know. I think you can make a litany of excuses why they weren't there. Maybe they didn't want to go. To me, I didn't really take offense that those two players didn't go. Paredes just got here, and I kind of get that one. Di Maria has played one game. I didn't really have an issue with that, but I agree with you I appreciate that the players, and you saw it on Bonucci's face. Like, he did not want to do that. None of them want to do that.
Here we go. I put a tweet up about Bonucci, okay? And I just said, regardless of what people think about him and regardless in the performance, which I spoke about earlier, and Danilo falls in this as well, I feel for these guys. I really, really do. Because in that game, there were a few that Bonucci gave everything he has. Whether the quality is not to a standard we'd like to see a main center back at Juventus, that's not Bonucci's fault. It's not Bonucci's fault Juve's relying on him in the twilight of his career. That's not his fault. And I just said he gives a shit. He cares. We need guys that actually give a shit. Same thing goes with Danilo. All the guy does is take heat, and everybody says, oh, it's just, those are all just for show. That's all for show. That's all he does, whatnot. Again, not Juve's problem that they're relying on these guys. If they need a higher quality, it's not up to Bonucci and Danilo to decide that and go out and get the better quality. But the fact of the matter is, these guys can't do anything more than give every single ounce of what they have. And Bonucci did that. Did he fall short in moments in that game? Hell yeah. Did Danilo? Yeah. but they gave
Play
everything
every game.
they had, which is all I can ask for. And is that consistent amongst the roster? I can't honestly say that it is, if I'm being quite honest. And the fact that it's these guys that are telling the rest, hey, let's go. Let's go to the Curva. Like Danilo walked everybody up to it and kept looking over his shoulder, making sure those guys were there, puts his arms on his hips, and he's like, we're going to take this because that's what they deserve. And he knows it. Danilo's been one of the only few that has been saying the right things in interviews.
And there was a reason why he was beside Allegri yesterday, 2 days ago in that presser.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's one of the leaders on this team. And that kid. Now, think about put yourself in Moretti's shoes. You've been with this club since you were 10 years old, 11 years old. You finally get up to the first team. And this was his first. Oh, no, he played last week. But this is your first home Champions League match. And that's what you have to do. Poor kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Leo saying at some point we had Delict, Romero, Demiral. In 2022, we're still counting on Bonucci.
Yeah,
Bonucci's
we
fault?
don't have them anymore.
No, that's not Bonucci's fault.
Nope.
It is what it is. So talk about that. That's another thing going on, right? Then you get to the dust up in the locker room. So apparently,
allegedly,
tensions run high because Max was very late for his post-match presser, extremely late. And it was said that management was in there and Agnelli was in there. Obviously, we all saw the video, the comment about Arriva Bene, tongue-in-cheek comment, somebody in passing. Hey, Allegri out, whatever. Is it you that's going to pay for the next guy up? Tongue-in-cheek comment. Arriva Bene said, don't make something out of a comment that was said in passing as a
so
joke.
he did address that. That was during the day. He was leaving a restaurant. There was a bunch of people outside. Somebody yells it, and then he just threw that comment out. So,
However,
being
reported, Nedved and Arriva Bene are the ones that are not happy with the direction of the project. Nedved has been leaving his seat. He's been pissed off. Why wouldn't he be? In 18-19, he was the one pushing for change away from Max. I said it was very odd to hire Max again and keep Nedved around because Agnelli is creating this awkward tension and weird functioning management system. You can't have one with it doesn't make sense. Nedved spearheaded that thing. You pretty much said I have zero confidence in you when you went out and got Pirlo and then went back to Max. Both your decisions. You've essentially said I don't trust you. So the whole thing is bizarre. And I swear to God, Nedved's only around because he's actually a fucking Bianconero. But what are your thoughts on that whole scenario?
Yeah, so here let's start at the top. We'll start right at the top. John Elk is not going anywhere. So if anyone, I saw people saying Elk and out, I'm like, okay, that's just you're
Elk
gonna lose
is the one that needs to step in my opinion. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, he's not going to step in. That's
not step in as president, but change has to happen. We'll get to that. Go.
Okay, Agnelli's not going anywhere. No, he's not going anywhere. Now, the Nedved thing is interesting because people are like, what does this guy do? He's a vice chairman. He is what does the vice president of the US do? He helps the duties of the board chairman, who's Agnelli, do his duties. So what those duties are, our own Lou wrote an article on it last year. We maybe should repost that somewhere, maybe on Twitter, to say he is basically the conduit between the management and the players. Is he the conduit between the management and the
No, Joe, that's not what I meant.
The management and the manager, that's a different story. Everything you said, from what you just said to the reports, is accurate. That, Allegri was out, and then Agnelli brings him back in. Man, you're right that you shouldn't. That the tension is there, and it's not needed. Maybe Nedved does a good job at what he does, and Agnelli trusts him. Maybe Agnelli doesn't have a lot of people that he can trust. That's why he keeps Nedved around. Trust is an easy thing to lose, right? Like, and it's tough. It's tough to find people that you trust, and Agnelli must trust Nedved like more than he trusts his own kids because he keeps him around. But to your point, it's just there's a lot of smoke there with these reports after the game. And I bet you there's a big fire brewing in those offices behind closed doors. Closed doors.
I am actually, this is no joke, and interesting that you posted this. We should allow people to join for 5 minutes and out, in, out, in, out. I'm
Yeah, we
actually
talked
looking
about this.
into finding a
Yeah.
way to bring in guests. If somebody out there knows of good software to make that happen much, much smoother and easier, we'll figure it out. Now, let's get into this.
We need a phone line, like a call in.
The change. I expected change this morning. After the Benfica match, I don't see how you can continue on even for one match. Fans booing and jeering our players openly having discussions on the pitch, confused about substitutions. Di Maria talking
Pause
about
on that
Milik.
one. There was a question earlier. I did save it. Let me just get to it really quick. Right here. So, yes, that is true. From all reports, Milik was asking Di Maria, "Why'd you take me off?" And Di Maria was just like, "That's what he told me to do."
Look, we've seen this show before with Sarri, and it wasn't to this extent, arguably. But it starts with confusion.
Yep.
It starts with lack of unity, which
Yep.
we're starting to see some divide. Players, Max, I think Max should have stayed. Max didn't even congratulate the other team. Like, he literally bolted. That's garbage. Anyways, Bush League. Anyways, regardless, there's a lack of unity there. In terms of the play, this team has no direction. Fans are at a boiling point. What do? Let that library turn even worse and lose even more? At some point, you got to give respect to those that are loyal and figure it out. The financial circumstances, obviously, to try and cut Max, are they going to be as big as the financial damage that could be done if he stays longer?
I can comment to that one.
Let's get into it.
Okay. I'm not an accountant, but I'll put my accountant hat on. The books are black and white. You can't say, and I'm not either Allegri in or Allegri out. I don't know what the answer is. I'm just kind of offering my own opinion, and you guys can dump on it if you want. But getting Max out and people saying, "Oh, it's just 28 million." The books don't care. The books are, you are now 28 million, whatever the number is. I believe it's 28 million. You are now 28 million in the hole, right? Which have to be accounted for, which have to be covered. So we don't know the complete picture of Juventus's financial situation. So they may not be able to take that hit. Like, they can't just justify. I can't Lucci. But they may not be able to just financially just take that hit. It's easy to say get rid of them and then we're already 250 million in the hole. What's another 28? Well, okay, but we don't know all the books, how they're lining up. Lucci, just every morning, goddamn. But that's my stance on that. It's not just it's 28 million. We'll be fine. If they weren't that concerned about the money, they would have got rid of them by now. But I think it's a bigger problem than people are putting.
I think at this point, and I will remain to this.
Sorry. My other point was, and you can't guarantee that the new guy coming in, whoever it is going to get you to Champions League. You can't put that in the books either. Like, we'll don't worry, we'll make Champions League down the road.
So we've got 1 foot out the door in Europe as it stands.
Probably 2, 1.5.
It's a good lunge out of Europe, okay? We got a hop step out of Europe right now.
Holding out of the windowsill, about to
a Euro step, the basketball Euro step. So we got a Euro step out of Champions League, okay? In terms of from just looking at this team, looking at the performances, match in, match out, Max, it's evident and it's clear now. He's just not the guy. The change is not going to come. After what happened now, it's even further off from turning around. Like, I do not see a way out. So if it is, in fact, the financials, they need to alter something, some sort of future plan in order to figure something out. I agree with you. And I've been saying this a lot too. There is no guarantee. There is no guarantee on who comes in. De Zerbi is one of the names being thrown out right now. He's not a guarantee, everybody. Okay. The other thing I want to bring up to people, what if, just what if these guys you want, what if they just don't want to accept the job because of what a mess it is right now? And
I wouldn't.
How everything is just, it seems like shambles and chaotic. So it's great that you want to throw out these guys, but what if those options just don't want to come? Tuchel is available. What if he doesn't want this job? It's not desirable at the moment, everybody.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
It's an incredible turnaround that has to be made, and that's not a guarantee. So this is what I'm saying too. I believe that the change has to happen because somebody has to be held accountable.
That's a fair.
Even if there are no guarantees, you have to take a shot because this team needs an injection. They need some type of stimulus because right now it's like Club Med, and it's been Club Med for a while. Max says he feels no pressure about losing his job, probably because he knows the financial state, and he ain't going to give up the money. He didn't do it the first time around. He sure as hell ain't going to sacrifice all the money they're giving him now. So he ain't going to do that. So here's the thing. It's, for me, you have to make the change. You have to take that shot. You got to figure something out down the road. Has to happen, Ann.
Yeah. People are so mad. Like, I read this one here. I don't know who this person is. Listen, I'm not defending anybody. I'm just giving my opinion as to why things may not be happening. If Allegri goes out, I'll support the club. If Allegri stays, unfortunately, I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to support the club. I don't have to support everything about it, but I'm just saying that I potentially understand why he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Only a coach like De Zerbi, a coach that's never coached a big club, would come. I find it hard to believe these replacements everybody wants, Tuchel, even Zidane, all this. I have a hard time believing they would come right now. And don't mistake what's being said right now for defending Allegri, because change has to happen. The issue is, do you think Juve would have already pulled the trigger if it wasn't for the finances? You don't think, like, for me, this morning should have been a change, and he should have been gone, dropping this game to Benfica. Not only that, but what went down with the players, what's been going on with the fans. A part of the reason fans aren't going to games is because of how this team plays, which is related to Max Allegri. Change has to happen. Do you not think that the club, the management, sees all of this? If they could make the change, they need to. But even if they can't, I'm saying make the change. He has to go, in my personal opinion.
Side note one, while you're here, we appreciate everybody here. We appreciate all the comments. Please like the video while you're here. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, be a friend, tell a friend. Again, I'm saving some of these comments here. It's not like we're not looking at them. I'm saving a lot here. Get your Storm the Barn questions in, by the way, too. If you want to mark a question started with STB, I'll make sure those get in there. We'll get to those at the end. There's a couple comments here. I have a whole bunch saved that we'll get to. I know, Al, you see those. I have one. Oh, what's this? Finally, yes, Al's.
Hey, listen.
He's in the
take
coach.
the hit. Somebody has to take the hit. And it comes with the territory, and it comes with the gig. Is he fully the problem? No, obviously not. But unfortunately, the position he signed up for takes the majority of the heat, and he's got to go.
So I got a question for you, and this is one that I've sort of thrown around in our group chat, and Sorit brings it up. Okay, no, he's obviously an Allegri sort of in guy. Allegri should not be sacked before the World Cup break. Give him a chance to play with his roster. Those dunderheads.
It's too late.
Such a good word.
It's too late.
So my thing is, and we'll get to yours. My thing is, I don't think he's been given a fair shake. Now, can I finish? Let me finish. I don't think he's been given a fair shake because he hasn't had his complete roster. However, if he's the guy to get things moving to the next step, we have not taken any sort of step forward. I'm a big proponent of, I agree with Sorit. And that's why I said we have to give him at least a third of the season, half the season. Let's get his guys, his team. Let's see how they look. They've all been injured. But with the guys he's had, there's like that Salernitana game, there's no excuses. Or you're running out of excuses or reasons to defend Allegri with the medical thing. I get it. I've used it. I can no longer really use it.
My thinking when I hear that is I have zero faith that the good players are going to come back and all the problems are going to be fixed. It ain't happening.
You used to have faith, though. You used to. We did. We both did.
You have to stop the bleeding right now because waiting for those guys is going to be so far gone. You're making it not only will I just believe things won't change when those guys come back, but and I'll elaborate why I feel that way, especially after yesterday. But not only are you waiting way too long, it makes it even harder to make that next switch. And it could potentially make it even less desirable for another manager who has to come in. In my personal opinion, it just, you have to stop the bleeding. Right now, this team is bleeding from all freaking orifices, man. Management, players, pitch, performances, everything. You have to stop it if it's me. Now, in terms of where do we go? If the financials are a problem, how do people feel about maybe running Landucci as an intern until you can get somebody? Maybe that would be enough of a shakeup, just having Max out. Does anybody feel like maybe an interim until we find the right person would be something that we could try? That way you're not going out spending big bucks and maybe potentially making another mistake at the head coaching job. The truth of the matter is, while I admit we need to make a change, it is very critical of who comes in next. Now, in terms of why I believe things aren't going to change with those players, Ant, is yesterday we didn't have those guys and we played the way we needed to out of the gate. The problem is it fizzles. It always fizzles. I've always said, regardless of injuries, your team should have ideas, but bare minimum, effort, drive, work ethic. They had that. And it proved to solve half of our problems when you play with the right intensity. We don't have the conditioning, okay? So all this hope that these new guys are going to come in there and it's going to change the game drastically, it really isn't. This team needs a drill sergeant. They need a leader. They need a motivator. Max was able to find success in the earlier seasons because he had guys that didn't need a coach. They didn't need a coach. They needed a man manager. And that's what he did. He was a planner and he managed the guys and he managed minutes. That's what he was. It's not working now because the team doesn't have direction. They need to be steered in the right direction. They need to be pushed. They need to be challenged. They need to evolve. That's not Max. Max is taking over a team and strengthening them in terms of managing them and maybe sharpening up some tactics with guys that already have ideas. And that team didn't need direction. They didn't need all these set plans. They had a chemistry and they knew, and he grew it. He evolved it. But he is not the guy, in my opinion, to spearhead a full rebuild. And I think it's becoming evident now.
Yeah, the one thing, I don't know if this is going to agree with your point or disagree with it, but I'll just put it out there. When Di Maria came in, it was night and day compared to what Quadrado was doing on that side. Now, did Di Maria sort of change that game because of his own skill, or was he executing Max's plan? I'm not sure, but he did provide something different. Honest.
If I stepped out there, it would have been night and day to what Quadrado was giving us this season.
I can't.
I'm not even joking, sadly.
I know you're not, and that's why it's funny. But he did offer something. He did offer something different, but I don't know if that's his just individual skill that brought something else, or if it was, oh, he's actually doing what Max wants that position to do, or Di Maria was drawing 3 guys, which left other people open. Yeah, it's not good. It's not, in general, it's just not good.
Yeah, for me,
I don't know what the answer is, but people are making a good argument as to why
this whole thing with Di Maria too, like changing the game yesterday. I don't think he changed. He added individual brilliance on the pitch.
Yes.
Did it make the team overall better? We were maybe had a little more bite until you rule them out. And then nobody else can step in and do anything. So I don't know. For me, right now, Max is not the guy, and it's becoming more and more evident. To defend him right now would only be the financial state. That's literally the only defense I think anybody can have in terms of keeping Max around. And I still feel it's not right. It's not right. I don't want to see it go. I don't want to see it go any worse, to be honest. It can't.
Well, it can when you have to bring Keenan to save the game. Like that's when you know things are going bad.
Yeah. Now, in terms of where do we go from here?
He wasn't great either.
I was expecting change. Anthony wasn't. It's very, very tough. It's anybody's guess what'll end up happening and what'll end up going down here. I do want to get to this one from Martin. I actually missed. He put in another one. Grazie, Martin. Okay. If Laporte managed to get players in the Mercado knowing how broke Barca is, Juve can find a way to get Allegri out despite financial issues. No excuse. I'm kind of under the same opinion, to be honest. Anth?
Yeah. Well, Barcelona is $1 billion in the hole, so what's 28 million to them, right?
So we got a long way to go for 250 in the hole.
Yeah, we're not that bad. So yeah, I guess if you want to compare us to Barcelona, which own nothing, they're selling their own grass.
Suarez says we go to Monza next. That's where we go from here. Listen,
that's an away game.
Yeah, I tell you what, my God. So the rumors, obviously, today circulating are that should something happen against Monza, drastic measures will be taken. Listen,
that's a good question.
Already in that frame of mind, and you're already there. Why continue to put something off? So that tells me already there are thoughts there, and that it's in motion. You're waiting for one more battle. Like, why?
Okay, if we come out of Monza, which is basically the equivalent of an over 35 team, let's get serious. They're not good. If we come out of there with anything less than 3 points, I would then be surprised if Max is there on Monday. I would be surprised if Max is on the bus back to Turin. Anything less than 3 points on Sunday, I will sit here Monday morning and be shocked if he's still the manager.
The mere fact we're thinking and talking about potentially dropping a game to Monza, I don't care where they play,
it's so bad. It's so bad that I even brought that up.
It's a reason this guy needs to be held accountable and moved on. I don't have the right answer in terms of a plan of attack afterwards, where we go, whatnot. But I'm telling you, at some point, you just have to try something, whether it's interim. So the thing is, Max ain't even going to be there because of the suspension. So it's actually going to be Landucci.
Right.
So Max
Landucci's
is going to win 5-0 suspension. Landucci as an interim for me is a low risk way to try to shift things. It's not the effect of bringing in somebody's new ideas and whatnot, because obviously of the fact that he's still been a part of what's been going on now. So I wanted to get into that. For me, it's not my favorite idea because he's still associated with this period. We need clean break, in my opinion. New physical training staff, J Medical, we should just burn down. Everything.
It's such a nice building, though.
Everything. Look at everything all over again. And
that had to be done in the off season.
That's my 2 cents. But
that sort of stuff had to be done in the off season in terms of the staff, which you and I were flabbergasted that it wasn't, even though it was talked about.
Shocking.
Nothing changed in the summer. I don't see them bringing another coach mid-season. Landucci maybe, but there's
maybe as an interim, you
no,
think that would be the route?
yeah, no coach is gonna say, oh yeah, sure, I'll sign for 4 months and then maybe have a job, then maybe you sign me long term. No, they'll just wait till next summer.
Yeah. Son of Sam says, or Adam, I could support Landucci, but it's going to be him playing against Max Spirit, a poor game. Yeah. Faye is saying it's very hard for Max now to manage because I think one day the players will deliver a message to the management.
They might have already done it.
We're talking about boiling points, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's coming. It's coming. But yeah, let's get to a couple Storm the Barns here. We've got a topic we need to discuss as well, and that's Vlahovic. But we're gonna get into some Storm the Barn here. Do you think Landucci should be our coach if we win comfortably against Monza? Carry on.
No.
We kind of just covered that, whatnot. I think it's a safe move if you're making the move away from Max, but yeah, I mean, I can already tell you the flip side to that one. It's going to be, oh, well, it was Monza. Landucci didn't do anything impressive. It was Monza. On the flip side, everybody's going to be like, hey, we've played better than we have this season or whatever. That's going to be the battle that goes on. For me, I've already stated today, change needs to happen one way or another. Finances, I don't care. Figure it out. You're more than capable, and you guys have more than enough money as a company, okay, to sort it out. I'm sure we could sort it out. We've paid toilets to be part of these rosters for 3-4 years. You could figure out saying sayonara to a guy that just simply isn't working out. It's just not working out, okay? Watch along, England, Italy. I don't know.
My heart, you want to know some? I may be having heart issues. I don't know. I can't do that. I don't even know when that is. Is that next week?
Yeah.
Is that this week? I don't know. Yeah, we need to focus on Monza here. Like this thing yesterday and Monza this week. Like, we'll get to that.
You guys can fire away with some more Storm the Barns. We have a little time for a little more. I want to get into, so Michael Razzle's got one in there too. Vlahovic. Vlahovic continues to divide the Juventini, okay? Now he's starting to face more criticism from fans saying he must do better. The obvious defense to that is that, hey, he needs the service and whatnot.
Zero service.
And now all of a sudden it's, well, Milik is doing just fine and outplaying him, but Vlahovic is still taking the attention and stuff like that. So is it the partnership succeeding that's making Milik thrive? Is it Milik individually that's thriving? Is Vlahovic just a victim of the poor team play, or does he need to step it up? And let's start with you on Vlahovic.
Okay. You want to know something? You can make a good argument for everything that you just said there. Does Vlahovic make Milik look better because he's getting double team and Milik, has one-on-one or, has a half man covering him? Milik, when you look at it, does more, kind of backtracking to collect, more comfortable with his back to the net. We all know that that's not Vlahovic's game. His game is more service, running up through the middle, attacking, defenders one-on-one. Milik just seems to be finding those positions on set pieces a lot better. Well, his last 2 goals and one that was called back, he was at the front post. That's not really where Vlahovic hunts. He's always more in the middle or the back. So it's tough. Vlahovic is our future player. I believe he has it, and I'm gonna side with the team of I need to see him with proper service. I'm gonna wait for it because he's only 22 years old. Like what are we talking about here? Like that's just he's gonna be our striker for the future, and I am glad and I'm happy that Milik is doing what he's doing because I think he's proving a lot of the haters wrong. Now he may turn to utter garbage, but so far Milik's been a fantastic second.
I think given his track record before coming to us, it's clearly not happening right now with us. And we can say, his touch, all this, like, yeah, his touch needs work, all that, but still he's playing a game that's night and day to what he came from.
Mm-hmm.
Does it suit him? Absolutely not. Doesn't take a mastermind to watch our games and realize we're not getting the best out of Dusan Vlahovic. We're not.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that has to come from the direction of the manager, system, the style, regardless, I mean, I wouldn't rule Vlahovic out and start to be too heavy on the criticisms of him because, in my opinion, what I've seen from this team is directionless. You know, it is, there are no ideas in the final third. It literally starts to feel like our idea was we're bringing Kostic in. He's just going to dump 50 crosses a game in. And that's how Dusan all of a sudden is going to just open right up. Well, it's not happening.
That's not how
It ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be sorted out there. But I'm not going to write Vlahovic out right now. Steel Allegri. Nick, Alan, pissed. Hey, man. I don't know what I did, but
yeah. What did you do?
Maybe
you did a lot.
You know, Steel Allegri. It's because I've finally said like change has to come. Maybe I don't know. I'm sorry, man, but somebody's got to take the heat for what's going down. I hate seeing my Juventus like this. I can't take it. I can't take it. Storm the Barn, Michael Razzle.
Oh, I was just look at this. Come on, Tom.
Stop it, Tommy. Stop it. Lex isn't back on the show or allowed to be on the show anymore until she changes her handle. It's been voted on. She doesn't know about the vote or the results, but I'm making it clear right now. Yeah,
pretty sure they're unanimous. Yeah, pretty sure they're unanimous.
If you can get Tudor for the rest of the season, will you give him a chance to lead Juve for a full season?
You can't. He's coaching another team.
The hypothetical is if you can get Tudor. Tudor, I have some doubts too. If you guys tell me that Tudor is the guy that's an actual leader, director, motivator, let's do it. Let's do it. I think he's shown some good stuff personally as a coach, but he's got some uncertainty. Like I said yesterday on the Match Day Live, all the options have uncertainties. They really, really do.
You really have to wait.
Lucci or Landucci to replace Allegri. Sure as hell not Daniel Lucci.
No chance. They won't even let him in the facility.
My God. Guy would spend more time, instead of training on the pitch, he'd be taking selfies of his biceps in the goddamn mirror, man. We don't need a coach like that. Come on.
Yeah, we don't need to see those inside the washrooms either.
Yeah, let's go. Damn Lucci.
Weirdo. Come on. Stop it.
Lippy's still coaching.
Oh my God.
No.
We just went through. We're going through.
I love
Max.
Lippy.
You want to?
It's done.
No.
It's done. Bring Zidane. It is written. What if you don't want to come, Joe?
Okay, now the one thing I have with Zidane is actually it's only one. He was handed the keys to quite possibly one of the best teams of all time. That Real Madrid team was unbelievable. Oh, well, like he took him to 3 Champions League finals. Yeah, I could have taken him to at least 2 Champions League finals. So let's just pump the brakes on Zidane.
Enrico Sacchi.
What are we talking about?
Oh, we might as well go this far and bring Trapattoni.
Oh, my God.
Trap. Listen, all these options you have have concerns and doubts. Look, Ant and I were on different sides of the fence in terms of what we expected to happen this morning. There are no changes. Romeo Agresti said, hey, things can change at any given time. We will wait and see. Dells is adamant and has been persistent with offering Bielsa and says Bielsa
no idea who that is.
Will
who is that?
Be the guys. I tell you.
Is that his third cousin? Who is that?
Bielsa was coach of Leeds. I don't know where Bielsa is right now, to be honest. He did a hell of a job with Leeds. I know that. I was aware of that. But
Leeds United?
I don't know a huge history on Bielsa to be able to make the claims that Dells is saying that he will be the guy. Dells, I saw earlier on, was also claiming that he always has top fitness and conditioned teams, right? So maybe that's why pushing for it. It's going to be very, very difficult to see Juventini. All I know is this. We're at a dangerous part right now. If it gets any worse,
danger zone.
We risk how the next guy is even going to want to come. Is it even going to be repairable? Is it going to be beyond repair? You're not going to change an entire locker room. Somebody's got to take the heat. I think it's time for change, everybody. Tough one. It's me. So Bielsa's got some call-outs beyond Dell's now. So maybe Dell's bringing in that wave for Marcelo Bielsa. There you go. Legendary coach says Luca Natala. Okay. Luca, get the keyboard out, okay?
Yeah.
Next time you're on.
He says he doesn't play it, but I think
we need the tunes.
baloney on that one.
We got some just so everybody knows that next time Luca is in, he will play us a little ditty on that keyboard there. Man.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we're saying. Could be. I don't know.
Are we advocating there is no coach better? I don't think so. I think we're just saying that it's not a guarantee. Not a guarantee. That's why it's so crucial they get the right guy. But who's the right guy? Everybody, look at all the different names that have been listed here. Are we expected to know the right guy? No, it's just not going to work like that. I'm just saying that they better get it right because there are uncertainties with every name that's been offered up.
Here's an interesting topic that sort of good save.
Just mad at life. Yeah, I feel you.
Hey, we've said this. I've said this, and Al has made this very clear. Don't let Juventus ruin your day. Don't let a bad game. You can't.
I know yesterday was very difficult for me.
Yesterday was tough.
I was a little agitated at work. I'm not going to lie.
But all in all, don't lose sleep over them. Now, this is a question that comes up, and what does this invoke in you when you see somebody bring up Dybala? What he scored a goal on the weekend.
What would he even do for this team? Offer creativity in a team that wouldn't matter to because we're so disjointed anyways. Like it's done. And obviously he couldn't stay fit for us. He's staying fit for Roma, so we couldn't keep the guy healthy anyways. We've got major work to do. But it's over. It's gone. It's we got to move on. I don't know. Like there's moves in the past that have left me dumbfounded and pissed right off. The Dybala one, I ended up getting sick of it because it was 3 years of contract nonsense. So to even talk about we made a mistake letting Paulo go, Paulo should have woken up, smelt the friggin' roses, and realized he was getting a good deal financially 2 years ago. He tried to push and push and push. Guess what? You are where you are at a fraction of the fee. It is what it is. Get over it. Like, I'm sorry to be that blunt and rude. I'm not trying to be, but Dybala had a chance to stay for 3 years and kept pushing the contract. He didn't accept the offers. At the end, there was no offer because it went on for so long and they got Vlahovic and they said, okay, we're going to go this route. He had opportunities for 2 years prior to become top 20 paid player in the world. I don't think he was top 20 at the time. He was arguably in that top 20.
Yeah, I've been on here for a little over a year now, and 8 of those months was tied up with Dybala talks. He's going to stay, he's going to go. And for us talking about it, it was frustrating. Like, what's happening? What's going on? So sometimes relationships just don't work. And I put this in our group chat. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes two people just can't make things work and it doesn't work. And that's what it came down to in this one. This relationship just didn't work and he moved on and we have to.
Yeah. That's what that invokes in me, just to clear. So listen, everybody, tensions are high. Everybody's frustrated. I get it. Everybody has different ideas of what the right decision is. And moving forward, look, we just have to wait and see. It's out of our control. It's out of our hands. It sucks. It's a crappy feeling because we're watching Juve be a Juve we're just not accustomed to, and it's very, very bad. Even Even worse here. Top 10. Okay. Top 10 salary. Wow. That was top 20. But regardless, everybody, again, what I said yesterday, I will hold true to today. And that's regardless of where everybody stands on their opinions, we all want the exact same thing.
That is
Realize
correct.
it's coming from that aspect of wanting to see Juve thrive, wanting to see Juve succeed. Let's go easy on one another, and let's just wait and see what happens. But I think even the defenders of Allegri, it's running very, very short there as far as the list that can still back him. I was hoping Bikram Jeet would be in here today because he has been a constant about keeping him around. But I'm going to be 100% honest and wrap up the show with saying what we saw against Benfica is probably one of the it's close to the all-time lows. I don't think I can't recall a time where players were booed and jeered by the Curva. I honestly can't. Regardless of losses, past defeats, or anything, I have not seen that. And it was heartbreaking. It's absolutely gut-wrenching to see the players stand there and just take it. I give them credit for doing it. And while a lot of people say it's just for show, all this, listen, what more can they do? And if all of us believe that the manager needs to be changed, it's not all their problem too. The truth of the matter is they're all to blame. Everybody has their part in it. But regardless, it ain't working. It's not working.
Something's going to happen.
We got to sort it out, figure it out. There's a lot of work to be done. Are there going to be changes made? Hey, we wait and see. Like Romeo Gresti said, anything can happen right now. So we wait to see. Mike saying, first time chatting on live with you guys. To be honest, I think Vlahovic is so overrated, and the amount of money Juve is paying him is outrageous. There you go. Hey, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it, and it's fair. I think.
Here's a good question. Juventus? Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
Here's a question. Are you doing Movember? Yes, he is. That's a yes.
Such a stupid question.
Dominique coming in here. Hot. How on earth is he still in charge? Because we got no money. Can't afford to sack him. We can do it. We can do it. Hey, does the AJC Army need to start a GoFundMe? Do we need to get this thing going? Is that what needs to happen?
Well, we can talk with Maurizio around Turin. He can help with some promotion. Yeah, we'll probably get something going.
We can make it happen.
What do we need?
Make it happen.
35 million euros?
And just be like, hey, man, here's a GoFundMe. You asked. We delivered. We're going to pay for it. It's a frustrating time. Did you hear about the altercation with the players after the game? Thoughts? All I heard was there was shouting and altercations in the locker room. I didn't hear anything of the exact individuals involved. All I heard was Agnelli was enraged. Ant, did you hear anything besides that?
No, I was checking this morning. I'm sort of seeing here, checking the AJC news thing.
Ant is checking it. For me, Michael, the thing is, it's not a surprise. What we've been seeing is a natural progression when things are going this wrong. You start to get some tension, animosity. It builds up. Eventually, like I've been saying for the past couple shows, we're at a boiling point. Hey, yesterday, we're boiling. We're piping hot, and here it is. And now frustrations are coming out, which is a big reason why I thought the trigger was going to be pulled. Because usually when it hits that point, it's hard to correct because given how it goes down and nobody knows behind the scenes, but that has a major, major impact.
There was a
video.
It'll
be interesting to see what the follow-up is if they're having like a team meeting, like sessions, like everybody involved. Like at the end of the day, they're friggin' adults. Like sort it out, hash it all out. Everybody talk about what's going on, what they think's gonna. But the leaders of this team need to at least get together with the player leaders, the management, and Max need to get together and sort this out because they're either all on the same page or it ain't going to work. And that's my fear, is that after something like that happens, you just can't be on the same page. It's very, very rare.
There was a video of Nedved kicking a side scoreboard. Was that from yesterday? A fan had it on a video. It's out there.
That's
He
like
was walking
weekly, man. It's a weekly occurrence. That could have been
Could have been a training.
Could have been training session. Yeah.
But the one thing I know for certain with this management is that, and I like how they do it. They're like a duck on a pond. Everything will seem calm up top, but behind closed doors, under the water, those little legs are moving. I don't doubt that there's a lot of discussions and anger and stuff going on behind the scenes, but I really doubt we're going to get news of it, out in the open. Unless somebody, because you don't really hear that from Juventus, like arguments that are happening behind closed doors, that normally doesn't leak.
Yeah.
They normally keep that stuff buttoned up pretty
We'll
tight.
wait and see what develops. Obviously, we're going to keep you all in the loop. I have to thank you all for a fantastic live session. I mean, over 100, around 115 here for a bit. You guys are amazing. You make the shows fantastic. Yesterday, I love those episodes every now and then when it's happened a couple times this season where life takes place. I can't always have some of the team members join, which I love, but you guys make it amazing. And that was a great match day live where we have a chance to interact much more than usual. So I thank all of you again. No matter what happens, we ain't going anywhere. We've made that very, very clear. Hey, ride or die, Juve. It's right there in the background. We bleed black and white. We ain't going anywhere. We will bring you all the news. We will keep you up to date in what's happening throughout this period that we're in. It is a rough patch. Can we get it out of it? We have to wait and see. Will there be changes made? We have to wait and see. Right now, it's anybody's guess. But one thing is for sure, we just simply have to get things right. Otherwise, what is rock bottom? Have we achieved it? I don't even think this is rock bottom. So it has to turn around, and it has to turn around fast, because I don't even want to think about that. All right. Last reminder, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up, like the video. All right. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with some news updates as we get ready for Monza this weekend. I will have a match day live, and I will have a watch along for Monza. 6 a.m. my time. I tell you what, they better not piss me off at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. All right. So let's go with that. All right. Everybody, thanks again. As always, no matter what, fino alla fine, forza Juve, right the ship, guys. Get your shit together. Fuck. All right. Ciao,
It's going to be a long weekend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.